she goes and she says that we all need to call her they, them pronouns, which is what most people have been doing since last year.
Where did you get that information from?
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. Everybody knows Demi Lovato. And if you don't, you probably do, but you've just pushed her out of your mind because she's kind of gone insane over the last 5 to 7 years. It is her pronouns. Again, yes. As you might remember, Demi became a they, them last year. Here's the video.
Over the past year and a half, I've been doing some healing and self-reflective work. And through this work, I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary.
Oh, man.
It was a huge ordeal, and it was apparently part of Demi's journey towards healing and self-discovery, because if you also remember, Demi has a very serious history of mental illness and addiction and overdosing and all of that.
Yes, being non-binary is totally correlated with those things.
Is incredibly real, and if you look at any of her past, you can see that she has a lot of childhood trauma that she is attempting to work through, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't think that changing your pronouns would really, get down to the root of that issue. That's just me. Maybe it worked for her.
Right.
This weekend, a podcast episode came out where Demi revealed that she has gone back to using she, her pronouns. That is what is making media waves, way more than her album announcement is.
It's also like I'm such a fluid person when it comes to my gender, my sexuality, my music, my creativity. I've actually adopted the pronouns of she, her again. So for me, I felt like, especially last year, my energy was balanced and my masculine and feminine energy. So that when I was faced with the choice of walking into a bathroom and it said women and men, I didn't feel like there was a bathroom for me.
Yep, completely normal stuff here. It's all part of being gender fluid.
Basically, the gist of this entire little podcast episode where she's promoting the album is her talking about how fluid she is. She says that she's not really doing pop music anymore because she's creatively fluid. And she's going back to using she, her pronouns because she's really feeling some fluid feminine energy. Who knows? Maybe she started wearing white New Balances and got into growing. If she was growing, I hope she was growing. Huge cock. Good Ranchers do not support the Daily Wire because we are you. Good Ranchers, you piece of shit. Your meat is shit. You are a huge flop. Shish. I get your creativity can be fluid. I'm not saying you can't explore other music genres, but when it comes to your gender, figure it out. Or you don't and leave all of us out of it.
She doesn't have to figure it out. That's the point of being gender fluid.
I don't need to be pulled in a bunch of different directions.
Nobody's forcing you to watch it.
Because a new celebrity has decided that they are identifying in some different way depending on the way that the wind blows. It's exhausting. These people need to get a life, is all I'm saying.
They do have a life, they're just expressing it differently than yours.
I don't know if that means that she isn't non-binary anymore, or if she is just non-binary with a little bit of a twist. My personal opinion is that she's gotten over this moment in her life, but she didn't want to completely abandon the non-binary label for fear of backlash from that community.
Why would she be doing it to prevent backlash? She's gender fluid.
I saw this post on Reddit. It is from the r/non-binary subreddit, and somebody says about Demi Lovato. This is just a couple of days ago. Just heard that she changed her pronouns back to she, her after a year of being non-binary. She said she just wants to feel human and that recently she's been feeling more and more feminine again. Help me figure out why this feels disrespectful to the community. Or am I being disrespectful by questioning why she flipped back?
I'm not even a non-binary person, but what this person said right here is fucking stupid. Does this person not know what gender fluid means?
And then she says, edit, thank you, lovely humans. I appreciate that people are allowed to try things and find out what is and what isn't for them. I guess that even high-list celebrities struggle with gender identity and have to move through their truth to find it. So apparently because this person questioned this, they got slammed in this subreddit and had to put in that edit.
Yes, because they just got educated.
Here's another response that they said, which got removed by the moderator. They said, "Thank you. This puts it into words better than I could have. It does feel like she made a big commitment, announced it in the news, did various interviews about non-binary representation, and then a year later she drops the non-binary because she wasn't feeling it. I get she's a fluid person, but it really leaves such a bad taste in my mouth that she made such a huge deal out of it only to revert back. But yeah, people are people and are allowed to experiment to find their true identity. It just doesn't help that she was riding the non-binary hype train so publicly."
She's still non-binary though, and even if she isn't, she's still gender fluid.
You know, it's very confusing because I kind of agree with this person because it all feels like some sort of publicity stunt. And in a way, I guess that means that I'm sort of supporting this non-binary subreddit because really I feel like all of these celebrities are just doing this for attention because it is trendy.
Yes, they're doing it for attention. That is exactly what they said about gay people.
And it is just such a perfect example of how you can never be woke enough and you can never question the narrative because the left will always eat its own.
She is right about that. We do argue with each other and fight over everything. The woke scolds, the rad libs, the turfs, the tankies, the nosbles, the hoteps, anti-debate bros. A lot of these people say that they're on the left, but they're really not.
This person that is literally a non-binary person in a non-binary subreddit is simply just posing a question and got absolutely ripped apart in this subreddit.
Why are you exaggerating it? They asked a question and people responded to it.
Demi Lovato is probably worried about becoming a girl again because she's going to get ripped apart by the non-binary community literally here. Like, you can't even do anything right anymore. Political correctness is a cancer.
What do you mean do anything right?
Demi Lovato is now detransitioning, which for her means switching pronouns again. Many kids she helped misinform about transgenderism are not as lucky and won't make it out without missing body parts. I get why some people are upset about this tweet because Demi isn't really fully detransitioning. She never became, transgender.
No, she is trans. Non-binary people are by definition transgender because you are identifying as a gender other than that which you were assigned at birth.
But she is backtracking.
So what? That's the point of being gender fluid. Your gender identity and or gender expression can change over time.
And Blair White is making a valid point, and she's addressing the earlier comment of, why are people mad? They are mad because she spent a year going around parroting gender identity and non-binary talking points to her fan base and pretending like that transition to gender fluidity would solve all of her problems, and suddenly she was like a healed human being. But newsflash, it didn't.
Yeah, that's the point of being gender fluid, where you don't have a fixed gender identity and or gender expression.
People who often change their gender identity or explore all of this, whatever, all of the pronouns, are often people who are seeking some kind of healing.
It's not to seek some kind of healing, they just don't have a set gender identity and or gender expression.
And they are thinking that they can, get it from this trendy solution.
It's not trendy, okay? We discover new things about the world and people and how they behave. And your conservative brain cannot acknowledge that because conservatism is about preserving hierarchy and tradition. Men are men and women are women. That's just not the case.
Really does not work that way.
What do you mean it doesn't work that way? It's gender is a fucking social construct that humans made up.
Lucky for Demi, she did not chop off any of her body parts or hopefully not take any, irreversible hormones.
Okay, so for one, you don't have to do that stuff in order to be transgender, and for two, so what if she did that stuff? It's her own body and she can do whatever she wants to it. She's an adult.
We have no idea what might happen in 20, 30 years to all of these kids that have literally been chopping up their bodies. That is why people are so upset.
That's not happening. That's just a fucking stereotype.
Now people are literally changing their gender because it is trendy and it is cool and they think that it is going to solve all of their problems.
You say it's trendy, but trans people have existed since the beginning of time, and we didn't understand them. So the only reason you're hearing about them now is because we have developed the science, technology, and academic understandings of gender and gender dysphoria. Their feelings are completely valid.
And back in those days, this wasn't validated by the medical world, by celebrities, by their parents, by society, by social media.
Right, because they didn't understand it. Bigotry comes from a lack of knowledge and understanding.
Demi might be able to go back and forth and flip-flop because she's a celebrity and she can do whatever she wants, but other people, they can't. And that's what's dangerous.
People are switching genders because they're famous? Weird flex, but okay.
Wall buddy, window. I want to see that super stupid face.